allow the children. It's okay. It's okay. Off your mic. It's okay. She. Off your mic.
Chai! Now wow, people wey suppose talk truth to power don't off mic. And if we talk, now 500,000 they go summer us, call them hate speech. But fear not, Maiyegun don't come. Him go torchlight every corner, nooks and cranny of all these bad people where they spoil our country. So my people make we laugh, oh, yeah. Maiyegun don't come, oh, yeah. My people make we shout, oh, yeah. Maiyegun don't come, oh, yeah. Maiyegun don't come, man of the masses, oh, yeah. Maiyegun don't come, oh, yeah. Maiyegun diary Politico, yeah. Maiyegun don't come, oh, yeah. This one not the off in mind, oh, yeah. Maiyegun don't come, oh, yeah. And in the touchlight every corner, oh, yeah. Maiyegun don't come, oh, yeah. Okay, some people be they holla say they want the power. Chai, them be promise us say we go get light and power. Nah. Them hustle sote they can't get the power. But now they know they do anything with the power. Every day, dollar just they get the higher power over naira. Still them talk say make we off mind. But thank God say Maiyegun don't come. So my people make you laugh, oh, yeah. Maiyegun don't come, oh, yeah. My people make we shout, oh, yeah. Maiyegun don't come, oh, yeah. Maiyegun don't come, man of the masses, oh, yeah. Maiyegun don't come, oh, yeah. Maiyegun diary Politico, oh, yeah. Maiyegun don't come, oh, yeah. This one not they off in mind, oh, yeah. Maiyegun don't come, oh, yeah. Person where they do evil, no one make person talk. Them say that Maiyegun, that man too they talk. He too they talk. Say Maiyegun diary, he they hot like pepper. But every day then they take money in bulk. Woman picking, they the street they hawk. Still them talk say make we no talk. But thank God say Maiyegun don't come. So my people make you laugh, oh yeah. Maiyegun don't come, oh yeah. My people make you shout, oh yeah. Maiyegun don't come, oh yeah. Maiyegun don't come, man of the masses, oh yeah. Maiyegun don't come, oh yeah. Maiyegun diary Politico, oh yeah. Maiyegun don't come, oh yeah. This man not the off in mind, oh yeah. Maiyegun don't come, oh yeah.
Hello there, brethren. So good morning to you, good afternoon to you, and a good evening to you from wherever you are joining us. It is Maiyegun live. And thanks so much for joining me. So we are welcome back. So after reading the caption of the broadcast, try to read the description of the broadcast as well. Then like it, share it, invite your friends and your not so friendly friends and tell them all to join us. Maiyegun is live. And since I have been away for more than 48 hours, so we have a lot of the catch up to do tonight. But we are going to start with the one that is currently trending, the ongoing wars between the Israel, US versus Iran, then Iran versus, Kuwait, Qatar, Saudi Arabia, Bahrain, and a few others who have received their rockets, including Israel, who have received the Iranians' missiles. That is where we are going to start from tonight, a catch up. About 36 hours ago, the President of the United States, President Donald Trump, made an announcement, declared an ongoing military operation, a joint military operation against the regime in Iran. Why? Donald Trump accused the regime in Iran of being responsible for the killings of over 1,000 Americans, attacks on the assets of the American assets and the Persia region and the rest of that, also sponsoring or funding terrorism all over the world, the Islamic jihadism. And part of that is Israel, where you have Benjamin Netanyahu, their own prime minister, who has vowed, at least as recent as January 2026, that until they get the regime in Iran crushed, he is not giving up. And that kicked off about 36 hours ago, which has now led to serious kind of like destructions all over this region. It all started after President Trump made this announcement. And that's what we're going to start from this evening.
A short time ago, the United States military began major combat operations in Iran. Our objective is to defend the American people by eliminating imminent threats from the Iranian regime, a vicious group of very hard, terrible people. Its menacing activities directly endanger the United States, our troops, our bases overseas, and our allies throughout the world. For 47 years, the Iranian regime has chanted death to America and waged an unending campaign of bloodshed and mass murder, targeting the United States, our troops, and the innocent people in many, many countries. Among the regime's very first acts was to back a violent takeover of the U.S. Embassy in Tehran, holding dozens of American hostages for 444 days. In 1983, Iran's proxies carried out the Marine barracks bombing in Beirut that killed 241 American military personnel. In 2000, they knew and were probably involved with the attack on the USS Cole. Many died. Iranian forces killed and maimed hundreds of American service members in Iraq. The regime's proxies have continued to launch countless attacks against American forces stationed in the Middle East in recent years, as well as U.S. naval and commercial vessels in international shipping lanes. It's been mass terror, and we're not going to put up with it any longer. From Lebanon to Yemen and Syria to Iraq, the regime has armed, trained, and funded terrorist militias that have soaked the earth with blood and guts. And it was Iran's proxy, Hamas, that launched the monstrous October 7th attacks on Israel, slaughtering more than 1,000 innocent people, including 46 Americans, while taking 12 of our citizens hostage. It was brutal, something like the world has never seen before. Iran is the world's #1 state sponsor of terror and just recently killed tens of thousands of its own citizens on the street as they protested. It has always been the policy of the United States, in particular my administration, that this terrorist regime can never have a nuclear weapon. I'll say it again, they can never have a nuclear weapon. That is why in Operation Midnight Hammer last June, we obliterated the regime's nuclear program at Fordow, Natanz, and Isfahan. After that attack, we warned them never to resume their malicious pursuit of nuclear weapons, and we sought repeatedly to make a deal. We tried. They wanted to do it. They didn't want to do it. Again, they wanted to do it. They didn't want to do it. They didn't know what was happening. They just wanted to practice evil. But Iran refused, just as it has for decades and decades. They've rejected every opportunity to renounce their nuclear ambitions, and we can't take it anymore. Instead, they attempted to rebuild their nuclear program and to continue developing long-range missiles that can now threaten our very good friends and allies in Europe, our troops stationed overseas, and could soon reach the American homeland. Just imagine how emboldened this regime would be if they ever had and actually were armed with nuclear weapons as a means to deliver their message. For these reasons, the United States military is undertaking a massive and ongoing operation to prevent this very wicked, radical dictatorship from threatening America and our core national security interests. We are going to destroy their missiles and raise their missile industry to the ground. It will be totally, again, obliterated. We're going to annihilate their Navy. We're going to ensure that the region's terrorist proxies can no longer destabilize the region or the world and attack our forces and no longer use their IEDs or roadside bombs, as they are sometimes called, to so gravely wound and kill thousands and thousands of people, including many Americans. And we will ensure that Iran does not obtain a nuclear weapon. It's a very simple message. They will never have a nuclear weapon. This regime will soon learn that no one should challenge the strength and might of the United States Armed Forces. I built and rebuilt our military in my first administration, and there is no military on earth even close to its power, strength, or sophistication. My administration has taken every possible step to minimize the risk to U.S. personnel in the region. Even so, and I do not make this statement lightly, the Iranian regime seeks to kill. The lives of courageous American heroes may be lost, and we may have casualties. That often happens in war. But we're doing this not for now. We're doing this for the future, and it is a noble mission. We pray for every service member as they selflessly risk their lives to ensure that Americans and our children will never be threatened by a nuclear-armed Iran. We ask God to protect all of our heroes in harm's way, and we trust that, with His help, the men and women of the armed forces will prevail. We have the greatest in the world, and they will prevail. To the members of the Islamic Revolutionary Guard, the armed forces, and all of the police, I say tonight that you must lay down your weapons and have complete immunity, or, in the alternative, face certain death. So, lay down your arms. You will be treated fairly with total immunity, or you will face certain death. Finally, to the great proud people of Iran, I say tonight that the hour of your freedom is at hand. Stay sheltered. Don't leave your home. It's very dangerous outside. Bombs will be dropping everywhere. When we are finished, take over your government. It will be yours to take. This will be probably your only chance for generations. For many years, you have asked for America's help, but you never got it. No president was willing to do what I am willing to do tonight. Now you have a president who is giving you what you want. So let's see how you respond. America is backing you with overwhelming strength and devastating force. Now is the time to seize control of your destiny and to unleash the prosperous and glorious future that is close within your reach. This is the moment for action. Do not let it pass. May God bless the brave men and women of America's armed forces. May God bless the United States of America. May God bless you all. Thank you.
Donald J. Trump. For those who have been following world politics, opinions, views are varied. So therefore, this conversation tonight is not basically about that. America is the world police. I have heard people ask that question. Who made America the world police? After the Second World War, America became the world police. And in that regard, they become people who can tell us which regime is sponsoring terror that they are not aware of. I mean, they are not part of, but they are aware of. And which country is indeed acting exactly how America, want them to act. So America decided that before terror, any part of the world, could wage any form of war against the rest of the world, like what happened in the Second World War. So they will be in charge and make sure that never happened again. That is the reason why when they signed their non-nuclear whatever treaty for the countries who have the nuclear weapons and those who didn't at the time, and why some countries must never be allowed to. And again, this is their global politics, rightly or wrongly, right? The American government of Donald Trump has been always like looking forward to a time to dislodge the Islamic revolutionary guard of Iran. Their track record is not that good or not that great in that sense. So, but they have been managing over the years to make deals with America back and forth. It's always been like a threat here and there. And the only reason why Iran seemed a little bit, or let me say this whole thing lasted or took this long before it finally happened, is simply because Iran also harmed themselves enough that if you attack us for any reason to dislodge this Islamic revolutionary guard in government, the Ayatollahs, right? They would then use their weapons and attack all of the American allies that surround them in the Persia. So this has been a threat. 2 days ago, when this operation actually started, or 2 nights ago when it all started, it was reported, in fact, a few months back, Donald Trump, the fact that Donald Trump said something about asking them to come and make deal, they wanted to do it, they wanted to do it, right? So their own CIA, the Americans have been tracking the Ayatollah, the 89-year-old leader. They've been tracking him for months, all of his movement. It got so kind of like so obvious, like so serious, that the people that surrounds Ayatollah himself, this one that they killed, those who surrounded him, his most trusted aides, and all of them, would no longer be trusted. Enough that when people were meeting him in different bunkers they were taking him from, okay, they would have to like blindfold them before they would actually get to his location. They were not allowed to know where it was. That means America has been able to infiltrate them so much, including the Israelis. So they've been able to infiltrate them so much that they knew everywhere he was going. The killings of this Ayatollah and other leaders of this IRG that they killed last night, right, is practically like a delayed by Donald Trump until now. If for Israel, right, they would have taken them out long time ago. And I know some of those who are like the terrorist sympathizers in Nigeria, especially those closest terrorists in northern part of Nigeria who are currently like losing their shit right now, okay? Iran is so powerful. To them, they believe that Iran is so powerful that who is America? That America knows that all this shout and all that, they will dare not touch Ayatollah. Meanwhile, Israel, they have all his details. They have all his movements. So 2 months ago, this was like towards the end of last year, Donald Trump tweeted it and said, I'm giving you this chance, something like I'm giving you this chance because we know where you are. I know where you are. And you can be taken out anytime that I give the order. Donald Trump said that's fine. Right? And I think a few days ago, he also offered that olive branch. This was him asking them to come out and say, okay, they are surrendering all this, their nuclear, this, whatever, and other arrangement that Donald Trump is presenting to them. Again, the ones that you and I can possibly just find so irritating, like why is America doing this and the rest of that? But they're just confused, okay? They were all out to get him, right? And all of this, their US destroyer, all this aircraft carrier, ships and all that, they were already like cycling around the Gulf, getting closer, all firing towards Iran. So in defense, as usual, because that's how the American would just like have to pull back if this was just about America, right? America would have pulled back the moment Iran started striking all these countries, Bahrain, all these places, including Saudi Arabia, okay? Because all the US bases in these countries have all been like bombed by Iran. It wasn't just America that is looking for him or for them to destroy them. And it's not just about this Ayatollah. It is the entire IRG, the real person behind this, States is Israel. After Donald Trump's announcement, this is what it looks like. The Gulf of just one US destroyer in one of their seas there, right? But the real people tracking to destroy the entire IRG, Islamic Revolution Guard of Iran, no other than Netanyau. Listen to his own message as this joint operation were going on.
My brothers and sisters, citizens of Israel, a short while ago, Israel and the United States launched a joint campaign, Operation Lion's Roar. The goal of the operation, to end the threat from the Ayatollah regime in Iran. At this hour, the IDF is attacking targets of the oppressive regime, facilities of the Revolutionary Guard and the Basij, and together with the United States military, ballistic missile sites that threaten both Israel and United States forces. This operation will continue as long as necessary. For 47 years, the evil regime in Iran has called out, "Death to Israel, death to America." It has trampled the citizens of its own country, it has terrorized the peoples of the region, and spread an extensive terror network throughout the entire world. It has invested enormous resources to develop atomic bombs and tens of thousands of missiles intended, as it defined it, to wipe Israel off the map of the world. It also armed the terror proxies around us, in Gaza, Lebanon, Syria, Iraq, Yemen, Judea, and Samaria, and it has spilled our blood. But if anyone needed further proof regarding the murderous nature of the Ayatollah regime, they received it last month. Because we all saw how this regime of terror in Tehran carried out an unprecedented mass slaughter of the citizens of Iran itself. It murdered in cold blood thousands of children, adults, and the elderly. Tens of thousands were imprisoned, tortured, and humiliated. And why? Only because they sought for themselves a life of freedom and dignity. In the war of revival and operation, like a lion cub, our heroic soldiers dealt a crushing blow to the Ayatollah regime and its proxies. But the wounded beast of prey has not ceased its attempts to recover, for that same purpose, to destroy us. In recent months, the tyrants in Iran have been plotting to rebuild their nuclear and missile capabilities, then hide them underground where we will not be able to strike them. If we do not stop them now, they will be immune. And for this purpose, their representatives in negotiations are trying to buy time in futile and deceitful negotiations with our American friends. But the tyrants in Iran have made a bitter mistake, because the United States is not buying their lies, and we will not sit idly by while the shadow of destruction hovers over us. And therefore, we have now launched Operation Lion's Roar, an action that is far more powerful than Operation Like a Lion Cub, which was very powerful. We are doing this in full cooperation with our friends in the United States. Under the courageous leadership of President Trump, together with the United States, we will strike a heavy blow against the terrorist regime. We will create conditions that will allow the brave Iranian people to cast off the yoke of this murderous regime. During Operation Am-Khalavi, I was asked many times whether toppling the regime was the goal of the operation, in addition to removing the nuclear and missile threat, and I replied that this was not the goal, but it could certainly be the result. And indeed, that is exactly what began to happen when millions of Iranians took to the streets. And now they are given the opportunity to take their fate into their own hands. Citizens of Israel, as in Operation Am-Khalavi, so too in the Lion's Roar, we will all be required to show patience and inner strength. Because there will be costs, and perhaps even heavy costs. But I know what wonderful strengths lie within our people, what wonderful strengths lie within you, citizens of Israel. Since the war of resurrection began, we have stood together, and today too we will stand together with bravery, in brotherhood, with mutual responsibility. I ask all of you to strictly follow the Home Front Command's instructions, because as you already know, these instructions save lives. Challenging days lie ahead of us. Every military action involves risk, but the risk of not acting is infinitely greater. Because if we do not act, we will get a nuclear Iran, an Iran with tens of thousands of ballistic missiles, an Iran that will act to destroy us and will be immune to our counteractions. As a people who desire life, we have no choice but to go to battle. Except that this time we are doing it with the combined mighty power of the State of Israel and the United States of America. From here, I wish to address the citizens of Iran. You, the citizens of Iran and the Iranian army, the Artesh, you are not our enemies, and we are not your enemies. We have a common enemy, the murderous cult of the Ayatollahs, which has taken control of you through the oppressive forces of the Revolutionary Guard and the Basij. They are the ones who have degraded your wonderful country, dragging it to the lowest depths. They are the ones who slaughtered you in your masses. Therefore, in full coordination with my friend the President of the United States, I say to you, anyone who lays down their arms, including among the regime's forces, will ensure their safety and ensure their future. The Iranian people, in all its parts, the Persians, the Kurds, the Azeris, the Balokis, the Abkhazians, and all the other citizens of this wonderful nation, this is your opportunity to establish a new and free Iran. Take your fate into your hands, to establish a new and free Iran. Take your destiny into your own hands. Raise your heads. Look up toward the heavens. Our forces are there. Pilots of the free world. Everyone is coming to your aid. Help has arrived. And I believe that the day is not far off when Israel and a free Iran will join hands for the sake of security and peace, for the sake of progress and prosperity. Citizens of Israel, I wish to thank from the bottom of my heart the President of the United States, Donald Trump, the American people, the American military. President Trump is not only Israel's greatest friend in the White House of all time, he is also a determined leader of the free world. He looks directly at future generations, decides what is good for America, and then acts with responsibility and courage. Together, we bring a great light to everyone in whom the aspiration for human freedom is planted. In your name, citizens of Israel, I salute the commanders of the IDF and its soldiers, our Air Force, the Intelligence Directorate, the Mossad. To the women and men of the security forces, to the women and men of the rescue forces, I salute them for their courage and for the power of their actions. And I say to you, an entire nation stands behind you. An entire nation offers a prayer for your success. My brothers and sisters, in 2 days we will celebrate the holiday of Purim. 2,500 years ago, in ancient Persia, an oppressor rose against us with the exact same goal, to completely destroy our people. But Mordecai, the Jew, and Queen Esther, with their courage and resourcefulness, saved our people. In those days of Purim, the lot was cast, and the wicked Haman fell along with it. Today too, on the holiday of Purim, the lot is cast, and the end of the evil regime is to fall as well. The prophet Amos says, "A lion has roared, who will not fear?" In Operation Lion's Roar we are roaring, "Fear not, Israel, for are you not a lion cub?" We will stand as one man with one heart, and with God's help we will ensure the eternity of Israel.
Now again, this is at the world stage, and they have history of all these clashes, including when what he just mentioned towards the end of the video, which is that 2005 or 2,500 years ago, there's something. So they have their history of that. And there are those that will say Israel shouldn't be there. Others will be like, Israel should be there. And this one should, all that fight over land and all of it, right? Every effort to bring peace among them has been rebuffed by all sides. But to the Nigerians inside Nigeria who have also taken sides, those who have taken sides, okay? So those who sides with Islam that is related to that of Iran, they agreed that Israel is the aggressor and Israel must be destroyed. While those who are like Christians who have been following as well as sympathizing with Israel will say, no, this Islamic republic should be destroyed. Now, all of this going on, there were other like geopolitics and other playing out too, right? Iran has the capacity to launch a long-range missile. They have like tens of thousands of it. They have so much money invested in that. The only one that they have not really been confirmed to have built is a nuclear weapon. So Israel is saying that you see this to destroy the government ruling Iran. It is like a national security policy of Israel. If Iran continue to be ruled by this Shiite and other, right, then Israel's existence will continue to be threatened. And if the United States of America is practically not playing the big brother to the Israel in this part, right, Iran believes that they could have taken Israel out. Now, in all of this, back in Nigeria, before we even go to Nigeria, again, like I said, Iran is not sitting duck for all of this raining of bombs and all that to come on. So it was said that the reason why this Ayatollah was a bit was like killed, easy way to kill him was that the moment they realized that the Mossad, the CIA, which is the America and the Israelis, they are very much aware of his location, his movements, right? So they pretended that they were going to be, interested in negotiating with the Americans. And they say it's a trick. They used the same for the Hezbollahs, those Hezbollahs. Initially, they were tracking them. Then they were telling them that we are tracking. We know where you are. It's like, you think you are safe wherever you are, but we do know where you are. This is where you are. Then they will move you again. So at that point, right, you begin to say, okay, then let's probably, the leadership should meet to discuss a possible negotiation so that we can talk. So the moment they all come together for that meeting, that crucial meeting, to go and meet with Israel or America, this is when the bomb is going to land. That's exactly how they killed Ayatollah, this one, Khamenei. So it was said that he's not the only person killed, though. They haven't given the figure, but it is believed that there are some like members of his leadership, IRG, whatever group, right? They were also killed with him because it was just a single strike. While they were also targeting, like they said, they are targeting all the sites where they have all these their bomb-making factories and the rest of them, destroying them here and there, destroying their ships on their IC, their navy, destroying their every kind of like a security structures in that country. They are being targeted one by one and being taken out. While people are being tracked, they have lists. If you remember what they did during the Hezbollah time, when Israel was like taking them out, they appoint somebody else, they take that one out, appoint another. That's exactly what is about to happen in Iran. Except maybe if Donald Trump just pull the plug. That's the only person that can actually really make Israel just simmer. You know what I mean? So if Donald Trump is completely with Israel on this, which I think he is, they are going to kill more than this Ayatollah they killed. And reaction is already brewing in Nigeria. I'm going to go to Nigeria. But here, the few images from around them, from Bahrain, when they attacked, when Iranian bomb landed at the airport in UAE in Dubai. Some landed at the city center, just few walks to the Burj Khalifa also, right? So their city center in Dubai, Bahrain, Kuwait, even Saudi Arabia, they all received several bombs from Iran just yesterday alone. flying their rockets all over these countries, and most of them were also, I mean, some of them are actually under the protection of the American military. You know, they've got this military, American bases all over the countries, right? So Iran targeting those American bases there, right? Blowing them, dropping bombs in some of the cities because they are considered as American allies, okay? And the betrayers, sort of. So UK joined by yesterday afternoon. Yeah, Stama.
Earlier this morning, the United States and Israel struck targets in Iran. Iran has since launched indiscriminate strikes across the region. I know the British people and communities across our country will be deeply concerned about what this means for security and stability and for the fate of innocent people across the region, which for so many of us includes friends and family members. So whilst the situation is evolving very quickly, I want to set out our response. The United Kingdom played no role in these strikes, but we have long been clear. The regime in Iran is utterly abhorrent. They have murdered thousands of their own people, brutally crushed dissent, and sought to destabilize the region. Even in the United Kingdom, the Iranian regime poses a direct threat to dissidents and to the Jewish community. Over the last year alone, they have backed more than 20 potentially lethal attacks on UK soil. So it is clear they must never be allowed to develop a nuclear weapon. That remains the primary aim of the United Kingdom and our allies, including the US. I condemn Iran's attacks today on partners across the region, many of which are not parties to this conflict. We extend our support and solidarity to them as part of our commitments to the security of our allies in the Middle East. We have a range of defensive capabilities in the region, which we've recently strengthened. Our forces are active, and British planes are in the sky today as part of coordinated regional defensive operations to protect our people, our interests, and our allies, as Britain has done before, in line with international law. We've stepped up protections for British bases and personnel to their highest level. We are also reaching out to UK nationals in the region and doing everything we can to support them. I've been speaking with leaders today from the E3 and across the region. It is vital that we prevent further escalation and return to a diplomatic process. We want to see peace and security and the protection of civilian life. Iran can end this now. They should refrain from further strikes, give up their weapons programs, and cease the appalling violence and repression against the Iranian people, who deserve the right to determine their own future in line with our long-standing position. This is the route to de-escalation and back to the negotiating table. Thank you.
We are going to bring you democracy. The people of Iran, you need to listen to us. We are coming to give you democracy because this is the norm and that is what we want. We will give you democracy. So those who are the supporters of Ayatollahs in Iran, right? they disagree because to them, these are the devil. Okay, whatever they say to you, don't believe them. Whatever you see or recorded to have been done, to have done by the Ayatollah and his government and all that, they are just, act of necessity. Don't listen to that. You see, it's all effed up world. We have to be honest with ourselves, okay? The Ayatollahs are responsible for many deaths. And others will tell you that America is responsible for many deaths too. And everybody will tell you that they actually care about the people. We are doing this to care for our people, for the people of Iran. We love you. We want you to, Anyway, back again, like I said, back in Nigeria, it's already generating its own reactions among the elites, the religious circles, and even the poverty-stricken voluntary slaves in that contraption too. Everybody is reacting. Death to America, death to this, death to that, that stuff. While killings in Nigeria, okay, continue to mount and mount and mount, I haven't seen any reactions to that like I have seen what just happened in Iran or still happening in Iran. And then some people gather themselves back in Nigeria. It's actually a talk. First, right? Those who have to tell or kind of like a protest it. So those ones are today.
nuisance lele.
Nuisance, of course. And that is something that I always kind of find strange. When you look around these, what they say, Shiites, okay? And then you have seen some of the videos of young children from this part of the world, which is the Iran side too. Children, like you start seeing them singing and then reciting "Death to America, Death to Israel, Death to America, Death to Israel," like from childhood, okay? So they intentionally teaches them that, like it is a goal. So if you are a Muslim, you need to know that, okay? America hates you, Israel hates you, so as a child. So they are raising children who are growing up to actually become adults, raised with so much hate that they have no idea, they have no contribution to. They were just born into a religion, and then they just have to follow it. So all they have to make sure is that they give them the reasons why they can, sacrifice themselves to probably kill Americans or kill anybody they call the enemies of Islam or in this sense. Now, I'm not saying like it is general, because, We know it is not everybody that possibly like supports that, but I'm pointing this out because it does exist. Okay. When you see children, I mean children who have no idea what is America, what is Israel, but they have those who are indoctrinating them with such hate. They are feeding them with so much, enough that they are breeding millions. That's why they said that the war, their war against America or their war against Israel is never going to end, because they are breeding children, generation after generations, and they are feeding them with that hate. That the war they are into, okay, this violence is the only way out. Until they take America out, until they take this ones out, until they take that one out. Maybe when they are done with America, done with Israel, then they will look around again and look for who else to take out. So they are breeding sects. I mean, so they have a sect that is breeding millions of hateful children. That's why you can see, I mean, I have asked this many times. This is my own observation. I've asked this many times. I have seen videos of this murderous terrorist in Nigeria with so much rage and anger. People said it's drug. I said, well, maybe drug gingers it, but some of them were actually fed with these hateful messages, hateful, what do you call it, hateful preachings that it's, I mean, preachings that they give to them, raise them to know that it is like, it's glorious if you can take out any Americans, or if you can take out any Israelis and all that, okay, in the name of Allah, Allah Akbar, Allah Akbar. They do exist. And if you disagree with them, you as a Muslim, if you say I am a Muslim, I don't agree with that kind of violence, you know what they will do to you now? They have the chance of harming you. You know what they will do to you? You are a kafir. A kafir. So now in Nigeria, you have children. Some of them are now adults. I was reading somebody's post. This person is an educated person. He's got PhD in front of his name, which means he's got some PhD in Arabic terrorism. Educated person. He posted it online and he wrote that the killing of this Ayatollah by America broke him. It actually broke him enough that he couldn't do anything anymore today. His family members are already seeing the reaction on him, that it felt like somebody died in his family, because this person is so important to him. This is what he said. He said, this person is so important to him and is more important than his own father. He put it online. Yeah. He said, if his father was the one just killed like that, he wouldn't even cry. Then people started commenting like, you. Like, what are you even talking about? Here you get, if your father is the one killed, you will not even mourn. Like, this person has shattered you and all of that. Educated person, do you really think that is not something that was indoctrinated into him from childhood, where they have been telling him to be shouting from the village, Zamzam village in Zamfara? A boy that is doing Alimagiri in Zamzam village, doesn't know anything about America, has no clue about Israel. He's got no history about them, but he's been taught to be shouting, death to America, death to Israel. And they are raising them all over the world. And it is the activities that continue to make a lot of people Islamophobic. Who is not going to be afraid? When you have done nothing wrong to anybody and they just like bombard your village and they started shooting and killing even women, children. You're not fighting war with them. What kind of indoctrination or religious teachings will push people to actually cause such harm, and on a grand scale in Nigeria? So those are the Shiites. Those ones, they are yet to be linked to any form of terrorism, but you have the Boko Haram. Those ones who said that the book is haram, yet the book is a sin. Reading Western education is a sin. That's what they call the Boko Haram. They've killed thousands, tens of thousands of Nigerians, and they are still back at it right now. Shouting Allah Akbar, slaughtering people in Nigeria, and the Nigerian government, yeah? Oh, that's a different story. So America is saying, let me even put it this way, because we are now in Nigeria. I said Israel believes that they must use the opportunity of Donald Trump's presidency before Donald Trump finished his presidency, use that to neutralize those they called the terror sponsor all over the world. Now, Nigeria is captured in all of this. This is why we are even having this conversation. In another few weeks, another few months, it could be Nigeria. Maybe not this level, because Nigeria is not going to be this tough for them. They'll come and take those they want to take out, and we're just going to see it in the news. You get me now? So, currently on the desk of Donald Trump in America, there is a report on the Christian genocide in Nigeria. Again, like I said, you and I can react and say this, support this or oppose that. That's not even the issue. We are like almost inconsequential in what they do. We just read about it and react. Have you? This is the one you have to put in your mind, okay? So they have this Riley. That's Congressman Riley, who has submitted a report to Donald Trump. And the report is that Christian genocide is happening in Nigeria. Right? Sharia law is the one they are using to train and back all these extreme religious ideologies. They submitted that. Blasphemy law that sentences people to death for saying something or for insulting Muhammad. So you get, it's part of their report. And that report is practically asking the Nigerian government to ensure that that Sharia, this Sharia, that in Nigeria must be scrapped. This is where things will probably get more interesting. They have concluded their own report on those they believe are responsible for terrorism in Nigeria and those who are shielding them. They already have that, like this Iran thing that you are watching right now. It's not something that just happened overnight, okay? So they've already had all of this info. And for somebody like Benjamin Netanyahu and others, well, they may not need to send F1 or whatever it is down to come and take people out. I don't know what they would do, but Tinubu himself has entered an arrangement with the devil of Sharia up north because of his Muslim arrangements, as well as, So if Tinubu by any means should decide to heed to what Trump will probably ask him, Trump hasn't made any announcement on that report yet. He hasn't even acknowledged that he's seen the report and he's going to do something. So maybe after this whole thing, we begin to hear about Nigeria, because the reason why Trump will be interested in what will happen in Nigeria is this. In that report, Riley specifically recommended that Nigeria must stop buying military weapons from China and Russia. And this is against Nigeria's normal international kind of like bilateral deals. So Nigeria enjoys what they call the that neutrality in that sense, okay, where Nigeria can relate and deal with any countries they want. And there is a report in front of Trump that Russia and China, right, are currently involved, not even Russia, but China. China is involved in terrorism, in funding terrorism in Nigeria because of illegal mining. And you know what Trump is like when he sees Russia or China, especially China, in this mix? That may be the reason why they will be interested in Nigeria. And I do not know what other things will be in the shovel. So the people of the Middle Belt who have suffered so greatly since this insurgency started, continue to bury their loved ones. And when Donald Trump showed interest in the issue of the Christian genocide in Nigeria, it was more or less like an energy booster, moral booster for some of those who have been calling for help, international help, local help for years. It was like a breath of fresh air. America is interested now. These killings will stop, even if it's just going to scare them to stop. But it seems that the weight has sort of like evaporated or somehow like destroyed the high expected hope of that time the next video I'm about to share with you, because it's lasted 3 days. The terrorists struck again in Bakenladi. They killed another like 20 people again, in what later led to another clash where the Baram youth staged what they called retaliated attack, and they killed 5 young Hausa travelers. In this sense, it is now like going back, forth, and it's been killings in the last 7 days. Reverend Akomo, who was performing this burial again, actually shouted and screamed that Donald Trump has betrayed or has left them, is now biased, pretty much only talking to Nigeria, and is completely forgotten them in this clip. I won't really blame him.
We are not going to run away. If there's going to be full-blown war, it will start from today to the day that God has placed for us. Let them continue to gather. We have chosen to die than to remain burying our brothers. My fellow brothers and sisters, I'm rounding the message so that we'll go back and stay and go for war. Since the Fulani say we will not rest in Plateau, they are not afraid of the security. From today, we will not be afraid of the security. No Buribado, the National Security Advisor, when I invited Trump to Nigeria to come and help us, when Trump responded, their blueprint that none of the soldiers of the United States should come to Plateau State. They redirect their attention to Sokoto, where the Muslim dominant area, the Muslims are enjoying the coming of Trump. If I were allowed to say Trump is in Nigeria to protect the Muslim, another batch in Maiduguri, another batch. Is it Kaduna, Bauchi? Kwara? No batch is there. The Yoruba people are being killed like chicken. Benue? No army is there. That is Sultan roadmap to wipe out Plato's Christian. Other Christian in Nigeria. It's Islamic agenda to make sure that nobody stands for us. It has come to the time we have to stand and defend ourselves to death. The chairman local government, God bless you for what you have been doing. You couldn't rest. The governor couldn't rest. The man has been trying his best, but his hands are tied. Even Tinubu, his hands are tied. They are deceiving him that they will give him vote. That is his neglect. He should neglect the Christian agenda. Our agenda is for everybody to have Christ in his life. If you accept Jesus as your personal savior, that is our agenda. But not to kill anybody. Last year, the Fulani terrorists, they killed the chairman Miyati Allah of Barkiladi. I was challenging the Fulanis. Where is my friend Muhammad, the chairman Miyati Allah of Barkiladi, whom we used to work together? But today, the leadership of Miyati Allah in Plateau State, especially Barkiladi, are members of terrorists. because he was a blocking block for them.
Choma, thank you very much, my lady, for your super chat. Thank you. It's everyday thinking. There's a community called Manzu in Bauchi just about 3 days ago, right? The terrorists struck, this time Boko Haram, not even Fulani terrorists, Boko Haram for real. They came in, killed over 30 people. Those who managed to escape, they escaped on foot, right? They ran on foot straight to Gombe State.
Duba ga ma an samu wani hali jihar Bauchi a cikin wani gari da ake cewa Mansur, gashi dai muna ta tafiya sun zo sun kashe al'umma.
Now that's people's reality. When you see clips like that, or you hear just this news, they are not just headlines. Oh, these are lives. These are people with hopes, dreams, aspirations, and what have you, just like you. That their lives have been abruptly interrupted, disrupted by all of this violence, right? They are, what do you call it? A lady who was at the burial at the parking lot before they buried her husband. She's a widow now. This clip, this heartbreaking video was captured the moment before internment, before they buried her husband.
Zuwa har abada abadin.
There were many others, right? So the Bauchi governor himself, Bala Muhammad, the guy who told us that the Fulani terrorist believes that all Fulanis all over the world believes that Nigeria is their country. And I'm like, okay, what does that even mean? Does that mean that every Nigerian believes that they are the citizens of the countries that Fulanis also belong to? I don't get it. He's been governor. He was with the Kolu yesterday. Like, he went to the Aso Rock to complain about the killing. Same in Adamawa.
Well, I came here on behalf of the people and government of Bauchi State to see His Excellency, Mr. President, pertaining to what I know has already been highlighted in the Nigerian media space, the situation of insecurity in my local government, Al-Galeri of Bauchi State, where some bandits have become so emboldened and they have taken over so many ungoverned spaces there coming out from the Daji Madam. And we have been having some sporadic clashes and skirmishes with them, with the security agencies. But it would appear that the security agencies and all of us are overwhelmed, and the situation is escalating to a level where it will become a big humanitarian crisis, because out of fear and paranoia, most of the inhabitants are running to other states and other local governments at this time of fasting, and that's why I visited there with the aid of security agencies, saw the situation and brought a report to Mr. President and sought for special presidential intervention. And we know him to be somebody that is very serious with security. Without any prior appointment, I only prayed with him. He gave me he saw me immediately. And of course, I'm even proceeding to other very senior security officers under him, NSA and the rest, who would do the needful. So
what was his response?
Very positive. He has already given directives, and you know, they are doing a lot of activities in Kwara, Niger, something akin to what we have, some ungoverned spaces, forests, banditry, and what have you. But certainly our own, we are trying to seek for opportunity for the governors that are contiguous to that forest, that is that of Taraba, Plateau, Gombe, and myself, to have some summit and with the aid of the security agencies to rest this situation once and for all. Because we cannot afford it. Bauchi has enjoyed a lot of peace for the last 10 years, and this is coming at a time when there is a lot of interest in our investment, and they are coming to an economic area where we have that traces of oil and gas possibilities, a lot of mining activities, and so we cannot afford that bad development.
Yes, sir.
We are very ready. We have always supported state police because it will reduce the burden on the federal government, and it will make us more responsive and more responsible as state governors, although it is expensive, but certainly it is something that must be done because security of safety of life and property is the main thing that we can provide. I have seen the importance of security in my state because we have had a lot of security good situation where some micro and macroeconomic activities are going on, and it has really raised the GDP of my state.
Yes, sir.
No, you see, it is not always right for people to be insinuating and trying to get answers where there are no questions. I have always said that I am a PDP man. I know the federal government and the importance of partnering.
So yeah, there's been escalated issue of insecurity in Bauchi, in Kebbi, in Sokoto, in Borno, in Niger, in Kwara, yes, in Plateau, and part of Benue too. So they've been like that in the last 1 week. But the ones who have actually spoken out enough to admit, others have maintained a graveyard silence because they believe that people will read about it and they will move on. Except if people fail to move on, and then they will pretend to be doing something about it. In Adamawa State, it's also reported that a number of people were also slaughtered by the Boko Haram terrorists in the last 3 days too. It was that bad, right? That when the security agents, the media, the government agents, and the rest of them arrived at one community, the survivors ran away because they thought the Boko Haram came back. Reason, those who killed their loved ones hours before these people came, right? They all dressed in military fatigue. They dressed in military gears and all that. So, and they walked in and they slaughtered them. Their governor visited too. But take a look at this. The men, they saw those people arrive. They ran away. They had to run after them and say, hey, come back, come back. They are police, they are military, they are soldiers, they are government. Come back, come back. People took to their ears. State of this Niger.
Anti soja ne fa. Sojoji bana. Soja ne. Sojoji na sun wuce ne fa. Sojoji ne.
That is what trauma, PTSD, and all that feels like. If you have witnessed the terror for once, right? Then you will have to run. This is what Nigerians are living with in their millions. Children who have become orphans. They saw their parents slaughtered by this, you know. So when the Berom youth in Plateau State, right, decided to take laws into their own hands, started looking for the other non-Beroms, like the Fulanis, or looking for the Fulanis. They ended up having to kill 5 Hausa men. Their local government chairman addressed that it's becoming like you kill us, we kill you. And in this process, they are killing wrong people too.
Who has been on top of this situation, who has been giving us all the necessary support, all the necessary moral and material support to be able to ensure that what happened to our brothers on their way to their businesses, on their way to their legitimate engagement. These are young, promising men that are traveling to go and carry out legitimate business. But unfortunately, they met their fate on their way. For no reason, for no offense of theirs, for no reason of anyone. We want to condemn this action, the action of stopping travelers and killing them in the strongest term. This is not our culture. This is unacceptable. These are young men that are not armed. These are young men that are not carrying anything that would provoke anyone. But because their killers are cowards, because their killers are evil men, whether they are young men or they are old men, they are people without conscience, they are people without love for God or humanity. They decided to take innocent lives. So we condemn that action in strongest terms. And we want to thank His Excellency for also taking proactive measures to ensure that the perpetrators are searched, the perpetrators are found. Wherever they are, we want to encourage and appeal on behalf of our communities in Jos North local government that the perpetrators of this act should be fished out. The perpetrators of this act, when found, they should be made to face justice, because no one has the right to take anybody's life. We want to thank the communities in Jos North local government for coming out together in a proactive way to ensure that this provocative act did not snowball into crisis in the local government. We want to appreciate all the community leaders, all the youth leaders, all the security agencies, especially the Nigerian police, heavily led by the Commissioner of Police of Plateau State. He has been up and doing to ensure that this act did not anger our youth in allowing them to also take laws into their hands. I want to thank all the police. I want to thank the military that are here on the special assignment, Operation Enduring Peace. They are also all out, from the commandant and the Sector 1 commander. I want to thank the civil defense. I want to thank the DSS and other non-conventional security outfits.
I also want to thank my mom and my dad, my uncle, my aunties, and everybody for their support and all of that. It's just have to thank everybody. But that's a local government chairman trying to kind of like make peace among these, among his own citizens under his local government area. Voila, everywhere. So when they asked Rebadu, who also organized a security summit on the state of security of the country, right? He had this to say.
Sun fahimta kamar tattauna kake nufi ko sulhuntawa haka da su 'yan ta'adda?
Yanzu a gida idan dan uwanka wanda yake gida guda wani abu ya zo ya faru da shi zaka ce wai ba dan uwanka bane? Ba da ka iya. Idan an ce hannunka ya kama ciwo zaka yanka shi ne? Ko ba yadda za a yi kaki kaso duka gida yan uwa ne. Akwai dewa waɗanda suke neman zaman lafiya. Akwai dewa waɗanda suke so a bar wannan abubuwan ne. Ya kamata mu fahimta akan cewa ba yaƙi muke da wata ƙasa ba, ba wasu mutane daga waje bane muke, abu ne masifa da ta zo mana gida. To idan Allah ya taimake mu za a samu fahimta. Abinda da dan uwa yake faɗa da dan uwa, Allah zai kawo fahimta akan cewa ce a'a bai yi ba daidai bane a bari. Kuma alhamdulillah ana samun
nuisance lele.
That is the National Security Advisor to the President of Nigeria, Nuhu Ribadu. What he just said there is what you have on that screen. So whether we like it or not, there are terrorists in Nigeria who want peace. Terrorists want peace. Is that not what they are doing with this, their repentant terrorist package that they brag about, that they've got many of them who have graduated from the Academy of Repentant Terrorists? Yeah. But that didn't reduce the terrorism. National Security Advisor tells us that there are some of them who want peace, whether we like it or not. So we must seek dialogue and understanding. So, on the one hand, Rebatom told the whole Nigeria and the world that they don't negotiate with terrorists and they will never negotiate with terrorists. They didn't know anything about all those peace meetings being organized at different local government areas in Katsina, in Kaduna, in Niger states. Now, Benue State is about to start its own repentant terrorism peace meeting. Plateau State is about to start their own too. All of this, it denied them in the past. But that same day telling everybody that there are some terrorists who wanted peace. When the terrorists kidnapped, they said over 300 school children from that Catholic school in Niger State last year. And then the Badon came out and said the children are fine. How could children who were taken from their schools, they're fine in the forest? How did you know that? Then afterward, they released half of the children. The Badon claimed that they rescued them. They didn't. They paid ransom of over 2 billion naira. Baba, they buried this money, according to the report, over $75 million cash was ferried down straight into the forest to get those children released. This is the indirect way of funding terrorism, and I bet those are the terrorists that want peace, whether we like it or not. How about the military? It's not different from the National Security Advisor. This is the spokesperson for Nigerian Army.
In the laws of war, at the end of the day, the Boko Haram fighters are still considered as Nigerians. They may have erred, and they will definitely account for whatever they have done. Are we saying, on account of the fact that they are Nigerians, if we have the opportunity to rehabilitate them, we should not? And I think that is what went into the thinking of the defense secretaries some years ago, which was also bought by the federal government and the Borno state government to arrive at the issue of the Borno model. So we take your observation seriously, and I can assure you that that review will be done, and you hear our new operational directives for Operation Safe Corridor. Thank you.
Nuisance Lele. Nuisance Lele.
Right.
Who did this thing to us? May God forgive all of us.
Right, right.
Amen. Did you hear that? What is this terrorist fighting for? Why are they killing Nigerians? If you have Operation Safe Corridor, how come we have never witnessed the surrender of these terrorists? Has anybody ever even asked that? Not that it matters anymore. Not that it matters anymore. I mean, come to think of it, right? Repentant terrorists. Okay? But we never see their weapons. So, what happened to their weapons? If you have over 150,000 former Boko Haram fighters who have been rehabilitated, where is their weapons? When the Niger Delta militants said they were doing this amnesty deal, we all saw different kinds of weapons that I have never seen in my life before. Many of them local weapons that they fabricated themselves when they were bringing all these weapons out, and the media was covering them, all these machine guns, long pulled gun like that, right? We saw how they handed everything over, not everything, right? We saw how they handed their weapons over to Nigerian military to say they have now renounced violence. They are not going to do kidnapping again. They are not going to do anything again. No bombing of pipelines anymore. They handed everything over to government. Boko Haram never handed weapons to Nigerian government. Boko Haram created Operation Safe Corridor, deceived Nigerians, and they are still using it till this moment. They are rehabilitating terrorists. They never surrendered their weapons. Well, but they are Nigerians. Let's go back to the reactions of Nigerians after this Iranian strike by Trump and Netanyahu, right? Here is one person reminding like the elite now. We have left the normal voluntary slaves, now the elite.
Let me make a few remarks on this. I think the world is in such a state we are now because, in my view, because of the irresponsibility of the world powers, who now thinks that because they are powerful, they have the right and the privilege to do whatever they want within the international system. You have the Russians attacking Ukraine, and today you now have the United States and its ally, Israel, doing whatever they want to do or what they had intended to do for so many years. First, we need to understand that the situation we find ourselves today in the Middle East was actually caused by one person, the President of the United States of America. 4 years or 5 years ago, he canceled the Iranian deal made by Obama, which, by the way, was working perfectly well. The International Atomic Energy periodically was monitoring the development in Iran in terms of nuclear development and was issuing reports that they were compiling with the agreement that Obama signed. But Donald Trump came and canceled it for two reasons. One, because of Israel pressure. Netanyahu is a very good friend. Secondly, because Donald Trump wants his name, he does not believe. And one of his major problems is that a man with an ape face, a black man, became president before him, and that has remained so painful to him that anything Obama did, he was prepared to, take it out. Secondly, the Americans and the Iranians, and Israel have framed this initially about Iran developing nuclear capability or capacity. But here is the point. The truth of the matter is that the same Donald Trump, when he bombed the Iranian a couple of, I think last year, told us that he has arbitrated Iran's nuclear development. So there was nothing more to do. And they were speculating that it would take so many years before the Iranians could rebuild. So exactly what are they doing now? They are killing the leaders of Iran in an attempt to enforce regime change. Again, here's what everybody needs to know. America has attempted regime change so many times, and it has failed. Afghanistan there is a typical example. Libya is a typical example. What do they call it now? Iraq is a typical example. And this is the latest. In the words of Donald Trump himself last night, he's calling on the Iranian people to take over their country. How, for goodness sake, would the Iranians do that? So it shows you that America went into a war and they did not anticipate or prepare for who will take over. So how do we effect a regime change? So here we are again with the possibility of another American miscalculation taking place, but by the end of it, they would have killed so many people as has happened in the past. They would have destroyed, Iran, that was not a threat. Iran, we must emphasize, was not a threat to the United States in any way. Yes, it was sponsoring terrorists, supporting, what do they call them? These guys in Gaza and the rest of them. But it was not a threat to the United States, except that Netanyahu, since he became prime minister, has always wanted to go after Iran. And that's exactly what they are doing today. As for the implication of the war, of course, the world is on an edge. And nobody knows how this will end. But the truth of the matter is that at the end of it all, the Iranians, I'm sure, will rebuild. The Iranians, I'm sure, will take more actions, like they've closed the port of Hormuz or something like that, And I sincerely hope and pray that the international community will rise up and compel these nations to pull back a little and let the people of Iran be. They have suffered because of the economic imposed by the United States over a period of years. Just like Cuba. Cuba has been under sanctions for decades, for more than 6 decades. They've managed to survive, but America wants to make it even worse for them not to be able to survive. So we are at the mercy of superpowers exerting their powers to tell us that they are the most powerful. And in that process, they are not only endangering world peace, they have virtually rendered the United Nations almost impotent in what's going on. And so here we are, dependent on whatever these 2 major countries, Russia on one side and the United States on the other side, have, in any way they want to define the war. But certainly it's a cause for concern, and I sincerely hope that nations all over the world would realize that it's in the best interest of every nation to come together and try and restore some stability, if they can. Let me make a few.
Again, opinion. Okay, it's just like water. It's everybody probably should have access to it or something. So it doesn't matter. America is America. They will do what they will do. Damn the consequences, and they will remind you that that is what the superpower does. So maybe if you become one, right, you might choose to probably be lenient with your own potential threats. Yeah, but that's up to his own opinion. But there's another person who decided to delve into America's involvement in the Christian genocide going on in Nigeria, and using this development as well, okay, as a case study, right? That America doesn't give a damn about Nigeria, or they don't give a damn about the people there, or you know what I mean? It's just about their interest. That person is the member of Northern Elders Forum or something, NEF. He is the senior brother to Obi's running mate, Dati. His name is Akim.
Well, first of all, I'm one of those Nigerians who is outraged and shocked that Nigeria has virtually handed over our sovereignty to the U.S. entirely and completely. When I saw the document that listed all these activities and actions that some congressmen like Riley Moore are going to take to Trump, demanding outrageous violations and assaults on who we are as a country, our sovereignty, our integrity, our unity, our internal affairs, our security, the way we live. I couldn't believe it. I could not believe it. This is something Nigeria should condemn without reservation. It appears that this administration has handed over Nigeria to the Americans lock, stock, and barrel. If a team that has come to Nigeria many times, operating under the allegation and the assumption that they are investigating so-called genocide against Christians, can go back, do a lot of work, and then up the ante and go to say to a president who always leans towards a narrow constituency involving the far right of America, and some Nigerians who are apparently very powerful as lobbyists in the US, to denigrate Nigeria, pitch us against each other, and virtually turn Nigeria into a colony. That's basically what that is.
Okay.
What worries me is what appears to be the indifference of millions and millions of Nigerians who know what Nigeria was and is. There are non-Muslims who think this is a good thing for Nigeria. And there are Muslims who are outraged that even contemplating issues like removing Sharia, the blasphemy laws, relocating Fulani people from where they are, virtually amounting to ethnic cleansing. These are things that will worsen inter-community relations in Nigeria. They shouldn't be tolerated, and we should demand that our president says to the Americans openly that there are limits to what this relationship involves. But above all, we want to know exactly what these agreements involve. Have we handed over America? Have we handed over our country, America, completely and totally? We are no more an independent country. America will decide from Washington who lives with who lives where, and which religion should be favored and which one should not be.
How many times would they tell you before you know that Nigeria is not for you? Ah! Now they never leave you. They have left you behind. Photo, not be juju be that.
Right. See, that thing he just raised is meant to actually call for everybody's sort of like reactions, okay? Because to be honest, I did say something about that on this platform in the past, that Tinubu is going to give Donald Trump everything he wants. They've got compromise on him. That's the side. So he is not that president that is going to go to the camera and act like a Nigeria president. He is not. If they ask him to jump, he is going to ask them, how high do you want me to? He's not going to question it. While they were using media to try to whitewash how they are responding to America's demands and the rest of that, he sent a delegation to America to tell them that they are willing and ready to do whatever they want. He didn't just go there. They walked out and picked up, a deal where they were willing to commit over $1 billion to the American military hardware just to show loyalty to Donald Trump. And they have had several meetings, no doubt. And some of the details of what they have discussed, including the ones that they have discussed with Ribadon, which I don't know if they signed anything, right? We have been having snippets from their conversations, and part of the conversations, okay, is that number one, you see all those Fulanis that are threatening the people of the Middle Belt, part of Nigeria. There is a chance that they will remove all of them from that part of Nigeria. Do you know what that even means, right? And it's going to be government coordination to remove all of them from that place. Something that some believes, again, don't get this wrong, go. Some of them believes that Tinubu and Ribadon, they wanted to behave like Bukwari, pretend to be cooperating with Trump until Trump is no longer the president. Okay, and they can just forget like it ever happened. You get that now? But they may not be that lucky, because right now there is a plan to ensure that there's a special protection for the people of the Middle Belt part of Nigeria, which includes harming them. Maybe not give guns to everybody like that. So, I mean, you will see the vigilantes who are going to be trained by the Americans. They're going to be carrying American weapons, and if the Fulanis in that axis by any means try to attack, zoom them out. So it's going to be the first part of Nigeria where this special protection is provided as agreed by Nigeria. But like Hakim Baba Ahmed was saying, what are other things that Tinubu probably is willing to agree to? They know what they're saying. Because to Tinubu, right? Well, if that's it, how can we do it? How can we go around it and give it to them? So Riley Moore and others went to Nigeria. They spoke to the victims of this Fulani terrorism. And when they got back to America, they decided to tell Trump that, listen, if you are looking for those who are funding the terrorism in that part of the Middle Belt and northern Nigeria, we found out of the Chinese. We have the verbal evidence, we have the physical evidence of what people are saying and all that. So it will be better to mount pressure on Nigeria to sever relationship with China and ensure that they remove them from that part of northern Nigeria. And also remove Sharia. The Sultan of Sokoto. So right now, Tinubu is expected to act smart enough not to offend the Sultan of Sokoto as well, because they intentionally ensured that the Sharia is part of Nigeria. They took Nigeria to the Islamic, what's it called also, this IOC, the OIC, and they declared Nigeria as a republic, the Islamic Republic of Nigeria. They didn't make it official, but Nigeria is considered as an Islamic country because of these guys. They wrote the constitution for the country, the constitution that the people didn't see until they gave it to the newly sworn in president in 1999. He never saw it for once. He never read it. That's Obasanjo. And inside that same constitution, Sharia is mentioned about 47 times. Sharia, the Islamic Council of Nigeria, Sharia section, there is about Islamic, there's no other religion recognized by Nigerian constitution, even though the constitution says Nigeria is a secular state, meaning there is no state religion. But yet inside that constitution, Sharia, this, Islamic, this or that, all listed inside that constitution as your law. So what the Americans are asking Tinubu to do, or if Trump demands that, is going to be that the Nigerian National Assembly would have to amend the Constitution of Nigeria, remove Sharia from it, remove blasphemy nonsense from it, and cancel all this Sharia court nonsense all over the place. Others are now saying that if that should be the case, Nigeria will cease. And others are also saying, well, that's good news. You can have Afghanistan, a place where you can have close affinity with your families and relatives in Afghanistan, in Syria, in Iran, and all these places, rather than try to want to force Sharia on the rest of the country, sponsoring that and then spreading violence in the course of it. So, how this is going to end, we have no idea. So you see these coming days, if Donald Trump goes to his office, and the next file on the table is Riley Moore's report about the Christian genocide in Nigeria. Netanyau is interested. And if Nigeria becomes the next step focus, they don't even need too much pressure. And I don't think a lot of you are ready for what that is probably going to lead to. We'll leave that one for a second. The Sokoto state government, this is how they breed all this their corruption. Sokoto state government in this Ramadan says they are spending 1.4 billion naira on feeding the people during the Ramadan. So Ramadan is how many days today now? 7 days? I don't know, but that's not the point. We saw where they are feeding these Sokoto people with 1.4 billion naira food. Obviously, it's kuli and Sokoto. Kuli and Gari. Oh, I have mixed things up. There's something I wanted to share with you before we go to Sokoto. I want us to stop in Kaduna. Look at this community. I'm going to try and see if I can round it up by giving you what they are indeed talking about, right? We're talking about the Chinese and the illegal mining in Nigeria, all over Nigeria. See? There's the community called Anchao, Kabau. It's like Anchao community, it's called, right? Under Kabau local government area of Kaduna State. They have this SOS, Save Our Soul, call to the government of Nigeria. So I have one quick request, okay? We are currently on YouTube, we are currently over 1,200, like nearly 1,300, right? But we only have just about 300 of us who have actually liked the broadcast. So if you haven't, right, please like the broadcast in this next minute. Let's take that to maybe 500. Can we do that? Let's go to this community in Kaduna. They speak in Hausa. I'll tell you what they are talking about in the comments. Watch this. Talking about the Chinese illegal miners and their lives being in danger around this, in their own community, around these illegal mining sites. The government seems not to give it up.
Assalamu alaikum. Kamar yadda kuke gani kallon mu a nan wajen, wannan gari da kuke gani wani gari ne, ƙauye ne na wasu talakawa bayan Allah wanda suke noma shekara akalla sama da 200 a wannan waje. Kuma in kuka kalla can gari ne ga masallaci ga al'umma ga filin kwallo can wasu ma suna kwallo yanzu haka. Nan gefe na ga gidajen mai ana yi. Wannan gari yana karaman hukumar Kubau ne. A Ancau kenan, hanyar Ancau. So yau tsawon kwanaki 12 al'umman garin nan suka wayi gari suka ga wasu fararen fata. Wasu mutanen China sun zo garin nan da wata na'ura suna aune. Bayan sun gama auna sai suka ce suna so a saida musu da tun daga farkon garin nan har zuwa ƙarshen garin nan. So bisa wannan dalilan wa'annan al'umma su kuma ba abin da suka iya, ba abin da suka sani sai noma, iyaye da kakanni. Ba su san komai ba sai noma, shine abin da suka iya. To bisa wannan dalilin sai suka ce wannan yanki nasu gaba ɗaya ba za su saida ba. Wannan yanki nasu za su san bar shi ne saboda su dinga cin abinci, saboda ba wani abu da suke yi, ba wani hanya da suke na samun kuɗi, ba wani hanya da suke samu inda suke cin abinci sai a wannan hanyar. Wannan dalilin ne yasa suka ce to su ana so a yi musu karfa akan su sai da wajen suka gada iyaye da kakanni. Bisa wannan dalilin suka ce to su suna buƙatar ƙungiyoyin kare haƙƙin ɗan adam da su taimake su shiga wannan al'amari, saboda wayannan mutane fararen fata ne. Sun zage garin nan sun auna sun ce suna so a saida musu da wajen nan gaba daya, su kuma ba su da niyyar haka, ba su tsara za su saida ba. Bisa wannan dalilan muka ce to za mu zo mu tattauna da su don mu ji gaskiyar magana. Sun mana bayani kuma mun ji, za mu so daga cikin su mutum ɗaya ko biyu kaɗan ji daga cikin kaɗan ƙorafin su. Malam menene hakika abin da ya faru?
Assalamu alaikum, sunana Hussein Jibrin mai yashi. Hakika abin da ya faru kamar yadda muka labarta maka shine mun waye gari mun samu wasu fararen fata turawa sun suna ta aure a garin mu, sun fara tun daga kan asalin masallacin garin mu har zuwa gonakin da muke noma muke cin abinci. Akalla da mu da mun waye gari mun ga kakannin mu suna ci gaba da wannan aiki sama da shekara 200 da suka wuce. Sai kuma yau kwatsa maka cewa lallai wannan wuri sai mun zo mun saida shi mu tashi mu batu guri, ba mu san inda za mu je ba mu san inda za mu ba, abinda muka sani noma, ba mu iya wani abu da zai wuce mutum da noma ba. Don mun saida musu me za mu yi, me za mu ci, ko mu sai na za mu abin ba. Wanda aka zo in an saida ba koro aka baka kudin su ka ce shikenan ka kama garari ka zama kuma ba ta gari. Shi da muke jin ga mu ƙarin yara da iyalan mu tsofi da kowa, shi ne muke roƙon wanda muka kawo kotan mu wannan hukuma na kara haƙƙin na aranta da ta duba mana.
Bisa wannan dalilai bayani da yake yi, shi yasa sai muka cewa ai wayannan mutane al'ummar jihar Kaduna ne, kuma wayannan mutane a matsayin su na 'yan ƙasa suna da lafiya su zama 'yan ƙasa, kuma suna da 'yancin shari'a ƙasa. Kuma wayannan mutane su aka kawo gwamnatin jihar Kaduna, suna daga cikin al'umma da suka dake wajen zaɓen gwamnatin APC. Wayannan bayan Allah talakawa sun gaya mun su ne suka tsaya tsayin daka sai da aka kawo gwamnatin nan na Malam Obasani. Bayan duka an gama gaba ɗaya sai suke zargin wannan abin duk abin da ake ba gwamna bai sani ba. Wannan dalilin yasa suke kiraye cewa mai girma gwamna ya taimake su wa'annan waje suke noma suke cin abinci, kar a bari wasu fararen fata ko wasu al'umma ko a haɗa kai da wasu 'yan siyasa zuwa kwace musu waje. Wannan shine abin da suke jin tsoro. Za mu ci gaba da bibiyan wannan abin da ke faruwa, za mu ci gaba da kawo muku. Kuma daga cikin matakan da za mu ɗauka in Allah da in mun kiraye abin yaƙi za mu tafi kotu. In mun je kotu in Allah da duk abin da ke faruwa za mu kawo muku a labaranmu na gaba. Mun gode, Allah ya huta lafiya.
Go to Allah. These ones got a warning. Other people never really get any warning. The terrorists move in, shoot here and there, they will relocate themselves. You know? So we're calling on government to please help them. The Chinese want them to sell and relocate from that place. Like, where is government in all of this? You'll be surprised that indeed the government is also very much involved. A few days ago, we saw the people of Ishagu in Ebonyi protesting this Fulani terrorism and all that, right? Well, they said a little girl was taken and killed on the way to the farm or thereabout, right? And then people reacted. Another little girl, another person was kidnapped and also killed. And since then, they've been like out and asking and calling on government to help them. The people of Ekiti received their own response today when the combined team of different security outfits confronted the base of these Fulani terrorists in Ekole, in Ekiti this afternoon. That's not where we're going. Okay, we'll stop at Ishagu. I should just leave it at that and go straight to that Sokoto because of our time. Sokoto State Government's governor announced that they will be spending about 1.4 billion naira or so on feeding the people fasting during this Ramadan. Okay, feed them for the next 30 days. Indeed, we managed to see the clip of this Ramadan breaking of fast paid for by the Sokoto state government. This was around the Satan's place, by the way. 1.4 billion naira feeding. And they will tell you that at all ain't bad, right? But it is what it is. Saulu Akimomi. May God just help us. That's what people say, right? The way the people are being treated in that shithole is worse than slavery days. I mean, is there no civil, respectful, humane way to treat them, even though you want their resources? Honestly speaking, nobody gives a damn. People's lives worth nothing to them. And you actually really need to see the bloody, or let me say the bloodshot of the eyes of these rules. Like, these are killers. They do anything to get whatever they want. You are standing on their way, you are considered as an enemy. And there is to neutralize their enemy. They have to take your life. Yeah. That's what makes them the billionaires that you see them as. Because the money were never really made from any kind of like ideal way, where you can reinvest resources that you made legitimately, and you want to like make them kind of multiply in a system where things are done legitimately. But in a place where everything is like life for money, blood for this and that, and they have the capacity of getting away with anything. So yeah, they have so much money, but they have no idea what's making real money is like, because to them it's just about any money is money, you know. They kill. They all have a lot of illegal mining sites scattered all over the country. Some of them actually invited these Chinese to come around and use their technology to go into partnership with them. We have seen communities where the community leaders who are supposed to raise alarm that such is going on in their own domain. We have seen where they ended up collaborating with the people who came to take it from them. And you have no idea what people can do to one another, right? When money is involved. You see, where some of you are trying to say, no, we have to do things logically, we can't allow this, we can't let this happen. The moment money is involved, your friends may actually agree that they should kill you, that you're a troublemaker. Then people that will tell you that they are ready to die for you, they will die. You are their best friends. But when money is involved in this situation, they will be glad to let them take you. You're going to be the problem. That is the failure of leadership in the country that has pushed a lot of people into that level of desperation that they are no longer more like humans anymore. Things that people will do. Because if not, how do you think this madness spread? Terrorism, illegal mining, all this madness. How did you think they managed to gain ground so much? And in the 90s, even in the early 2000s, right, it wasn't so like this. How did they gain so much ground? People's greed. Who will collaborate with you as long as they're going to be part of it or benefit from it, even if you have to like destroy the whole community for it. As long as they are going to benefit directly from it, they will play with you. All these terrorists that you are seeing doing all of this, apart from those who are their sponsor, those who are doing the runners or their runners, they are the most important part of their jihad. The people that provide medicals for them, those who provide all these supplies like food, fuel, recharge cards, and other stuff. Apart from the weapons, you see those ones who do the runners for them, those who spy for them to alert them once they see the military movements or around their area, they go back and tell them, oh, we saw these soldiers, we saw military, this and that. Those are the most important part of their terrorism. And they are mostly the local people. Their excuse whenever they are caught is that they had no choice. They threatened to kill them. That's why they had to work for them, right? So a lot of that. So the cooperation of the people, exploiting the people's vulnerability, weaponizing the poverty in order to use them against themselves. Most of them who are working for these people, they've had their family members killed. These terrorists have destroyed their communities and all that. But to them, right, it's just the cost of doing business. So greed of the people makes all these things happen, like this much. Where citizens have been so detached from their country that everybody just exists for the existence's sake. Majority just exist for just existence sake. So then the country is lost. You're going to see all foreign people, all kind of people who are coming in, walking straight into your backyard, digging your land, destroying as much as possible they can destroy, take whatever they can take and just leave. Why few people are driving exotic vehicles, living this beautiful life like, in the midst of this whole ruins and this poverty, greed of the people. They allow it. Because everybody just thought from those who are going to be driving them, those who are going to be spying for them, the stuff. Sad. First Lady of Nigeria. is the wife. I saw the president. That's the wife. And she was visiting Delta State, her home state. She's from Delta State. The last drama I shared with you was that of Devulumai and a businesswoman, Tracy O'Hiri. Things really got so bad that day after the court granted her bail. The court said she could go on bail. Then Maiyegun and others and the lawyers, and they did all they could to fight for a bail, until when another order came from one police officer called Fakorede that they've secured another judgment, detention order from another court. Why is that? So that triggered a series of other reactions. Then people asked Devulumai again, he denied owing up. Then a day after that, a group of women, so they came out to come and warn a very dark man, Yele Sowore, and even Tracy too, and everybody who has been on the side of this woman, they're out to give you the warning. So I'm going to start from the effort of Yele Sowore to make sure that a woman granted bail by court was not detained or rearrested and re-detained by another fake court judgment. It was first with the correctional officer, the one that was playing, the trick, trying to deny the fact that the court that granted this lady bail somehow, miraculously, disappeared the case file, something that just happened a few hours ago, in the course of securing a bail. Maiyegun Sowore ended up having to be on the phone with, I think, the police commissioner in Abuja and the others that they mentioned. Okay, it's quite dramatic. I can't piece them together like that. Okay, but let us start with when Sowore was trying to question the correctional officer, the detention, the prison officer. What are you doing?
Register. Right? No, you accepted the deal from the registrar, but you cannot accept the release order from the same registrar. Look, you are a scammer. You cannot accept the same deal from you are telling me now that you accepted this deal from the registrar. Is that not so? Yes, that's the one we gave you. So why did you refuse to accept a release order from him?
Why did you allow me to carry the suspect go to
so for what? Who's the suspect? You are the suspect now. You are now the suspect. Let's go outside. Scammers. Let's go outside.
Sowore went as far as calling those people mentioned as behind this new trick, just because the big man minister wanted to flex his power, show you how powerful he is. You question me, you.
Magistrates granted her bail. I am one of the sureties. We have completed the bail process. Your police came from the FCC, brought another car and called for backup and not to abduct her. Then they went and obtained the detention warrant from the same judge to take her to prison. The prison people don't have a bail, but the men are here, including the prosecutor, one guy who wants to force her. This man has 2 kids that are being breastfed. They brought her from Lagos 3 days ago. Back on the days, the one who's behind this. So that's the one. He's Fakorede's case, but he's using the command. You know, he has an office at command. But Fakorede is the one who I spoke to him. I met him yesterday. I called him today. He said I should come and take her bail. She snuck out to the magistrate court. I came here. We brought lawyers. They granted her bail. He's not satisfied. Now they want to rearrest her, and we are here. And I don't want this to happen under your watch. That's the reason I'm calling you. Thank you. We are here. How are you? This is Sowore here. This is Sowore here. I saw your men here. They say you sent some men to the Wuse court. Are you not the DP of Wuse police station? Your 3 men show up here. Say they say problem day for court. Say you send them. My name is Sowore. You know who Sowore is? Sorry. I told them to go back. that there's no problem here. It is just an issue of infraction of the law by some overzealous police prosecutors. There's no problem here. We have peace here. So we can tell them to come back, because I'm sure you will need enough policemen in the station to attend to serious issues. We are here with policemen from the FCT and IG monitoring. So we can handle it ourselves. Don't let them give you false alarm. Thank you. I'll save your number. Thank you. No problem. This is a new era of policing where we get. We know they allow now, they do that now like anymore. You must do police work. No be problem. If I don't come see you one day, you bring me to you now. Don't worry, I'll come and see you. Thank you.
Sure. It's like a thorn on their flesh, right? Thorn on their flesh. So we see how far that goes. But Devulu might continue to deny her. And the way he's talking, you can easily tell that he's lying. But he's a randy man enough to know that he's lying. He just dropped Natasha into that conversation. That's why would he want a woman like that? A handsome man like him. If he was a Natasha Putin now, says that he, the Bulumai, is chasing her, then maybe that, he can still take that. Why is Natasha in that convo? Definitely, whenever they are drinking their burukutu with the plate of okwabi, laughing at Nigerians, they also fantasizes about probably some women too, that they wish they could have, but somehow they may not be able to have. On top of this matter, Devulumai.
I want to thank a lot of you who know me very well. Party chairman, I owe nobody, and of course I presided over both men and women, and nobody ever said, I harassed him or I owed him. Deputy governor, the same governor for 8 years, and I did fantastic infrastructure. So nobody could come and say he's doing good, unless the person is doing the change. So what you read on social media, I'm not worried about it. It makes me stronger, and I've fought many battles. So this is nothing. There's nothing wrong to say, oh, you are chasing a woman. But if it is Natasha that is accusing me of chasing her, then my face will be bolder. But not anyhow person that will accuse this handsome man of chasing him for 12 years. That person must be the Queen of England. Because any one man that cannot chase Senator Natasha for 12 years. So it's just to make social media to be alive. But I think we can turn our attention to the war in Iran now, and then allow the woman to rest.
Nuisance, Lily. You see? If it was that Natasha now, even Natasha can't chase her for 12 years. Then some group of women decided to fight for him. Typical Nigerian political space. Yeah. They call them civil society for hire. They appear, you will see them like this. It's so crazy, right? You will see these ones, they will say, we are women for justice, blah, 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 just to support a crook. Okay? And the moment that job is done, you will still see one or two of them in another group fighting for another criminal. They may call themselves Justice Women League. They are called civil society group for hire. They don't exist, but they are always having the media because it's all paid for. It's a gig. Listen to the women.
Solidarity forever. We will always fight for our rights. Solidarity forever. Solidarity forever. Solidarity forever. We shall always fight for our rights.
We reject trial by ambush. We reject reputational warfare disguised as activism. We reject emotional coercion as substitute for law. The rule of law must be maintained. Institutions must be protected. Reputation cannot be destroyed without proof. The National Women Alliance for Rule of Law stresses that social media must never replace judiciary. When public sympathy becomes the strategy and emotional appeal becomes the evidence, the rule of law is weakened. Public officials are accountable, but accountability must follow lawful process.
Justice is not served in front of cameras. It is served in courtroom where evidence is examined and tested. If there is evidence present in court, if there is no evidence, stop the public spectacles. Social media trials amount to bullying, which attract jail sentence. Go to court and prove your case if you have any.
Responsible governance demands documentation, not recollection. It demands evidence, not emotional amplification. We refuse to allow governance to be destabilized by what clearly bear the fingerprints of reputation manipulation. Responsible governance demands evidence, not viral drama. Thank you.
Of our greedy leaders. Oh, thunder, where are you? This is the time you are supposed to strike, so that you eliminate all of them, so that you have peace in our nation. Or join them in one aeroplane, so that it will crash land in the course of their agenda. Furthermore, our security agents, i.e., the police and
National Women Alliance for Rule of Law. That's their group. I have never heard anything like that in my life. But that's what they normally do. They will print banners. It's all paid for. Okay? And I've seen a lot of that. Several occasions, many times. Right? It is Nigeria. So then afterward, everything will just disappear. Remember that lady that was making the move to recall Natasha from the Senate because of Yeye Bello. Remember that time? She was all over the place, everywhere. But the moment they finished the job, she moved on. Natasha is still in the Senate, okay? And she's probably waiting for another gig. The next time you're going to see her, she's going to be representing this new group, fighting for something that is so similar to what she does. People for hire, women, men, young, old, crazy. They may have a job, or Iyabo may have a job for them. Obasanjo said daughter. Yeah, Iyabo Obasanjo Bello. Is that her name? I don't know. Anyway, Shasha call her Iyabo Obasanjo. He is now trying to become the first female governor in Nigeria. And yeah, she's planning to be the next governor of Ogun State. Yeah. Is why.
Ogun State is going to be the first state to have a female governor elected, because we've had female governors, as you know, that for different reasons became governor for short periods of time, but we've never had an elected female governor in the country. Politics is not supposed to be a lifelong career. Many people leave it and go back. I will even give that example of His Excellency, the president of our country, Bola Ahmed Tinubu. He was governor for 8 years, and he was not in government at all. He did not seek political office until he ran for president. That was a period of about 20 years in between. We've had 3 governors from the east, right? Central has had 2, and West has not had any. I do agree that we need fair is fair. In the nation, I do believe that every region should produce a president at some point. And right now, the only region that's never produced a president they did produce one for a short time in the 1960s for 6 months. Unronsi is the southeast. So so fair is fair. So I think that in Ogun State, yes, we must have somebody from the west at some point as governor. But at the same time, Central is not the person that stopped them. Me, myself, I was the person that actually campaigned with Olure most in this at that time. He didn't make it. My father himself wanted Senator Bajomo to come out at some point. That was during 1999. It ended up being Martin Skuyen who didn't win. Then my dad supported GNI tremendously in another election. So, and some of our former governors have done the same thing. I think that we need to sit together and be more strategic about how we produce a governor from the west. I think that yes, what my father said in terms of central and east have to come together and then leave it for the west. But that coalition has not been formed. And if we don't do it that way, it will fall the way it has always fallen, because we're doing it by default. So I believe that for now, I believe that when we build the West, I think part of the West is also development issues, right? We need to focus on development of the area in a way that will then internally generate people that will come out on their own. So there is a lot to it. I'm not saying that Egewa does not have the right to be governor. I'm just saying that at this point, I think I'm the most prepared. I've been a commissioner for health. I know Ogun State. I know, like I said, I came in and I knew some of you by sight just because of my previous experience. Some of you are too young to know, because some of you are so so there's that. The fact that I was a senator for Central, the fact that I know everybody that has been in governance in the state, mostly because of my experiences in the state, I think I'm well prepared. And the fact that we also haven't had a female governor in the country, and that it's time that having a female governor, what it does is let girls aspire.
Àmọ́ ọ̀rọ̀ tẹ́ gbé kalẹ̀ yìí ó dàbí ọ̀rọ̀ ẹni tí ọpọlọ rẹ̀ yòrò tàbí ẹni tí Ọlọ́run fi síbi aláṣà àwọn ọpọlọ rẹ̀ bí ọpọlọ ikú. Ó jọ má bẹ́ẹ̀ tọpọlọ rẹ̀ ò tó nǹkan rárá tàbí ètò wà ń bẹ kó má tiẹ̀ wúlò má rárá.
So I'm going to say good luck to her. Okay. So thank you very much, our brethren, for your time again in this new month. And I will continue to appreciate your time with me and all our time together. So I'm going to see you another time, and that another time is going to be tomorrow. So please, if you have stayed this long, and I do apologize to those of you who prefer we take calls, okay? I promise that that is going to come on stream very soon, okay? But for now, please share the broadcast, like it, subscribe to the channel, and take your time and check out some of the content as well. If you are new, then join us again another time. I will see you then. So it's going to be a good night from here, okay? And Odaro.
Maiyegun làwa mọ̀ tó dòdòdó. Maiyegun Diary. sójódodo.
Maiyegun diary Nayibi #1.
Maiyegun ti dé o ọ̀rẹ́ ará ìlú.
Maiyegun diary Nayibi #1.
lórí Facebook lórí YouTube.
Maiyegun diary Nayibi #1.
gbogbo bó ṣe ń lọ ni Maiyegun já wa sí.
Maiyegun diary Nayibi #1.
àṣírí ọ̀jẹ̀lú kì í bò níbẹ̀ o.
Maiyegun diary Nayibi #1.
bó bá ṣe eré àní Maiyegun máa wí.
Maiyegun diary Nayibi #1.
ó sì tún ṣe eré wàá gbọ́ níbẹ̀ o.
Maiyegun diary Nayibi #1.
Maiyegun diary Politico.
Maiyegun diary Nayibi #1.
Godfatherism kò sí lọ́rọ̀ Maiyegun.
Maiyegun diary Nayibi #1.
ẹ farabalẹ̀ sẹ́ o kẹgbọ́rọ̀ lẹ́nu o.
Maiyegun diary Nayibi #1.
àní Maiyegun làwa mọ̀ tó dódòdó.
Maiyegun diary Nayibi #1.
àní ẹ̀sùn ràkì.
Maiyegun ti dé. Maiyegun ti dé.
ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùn ràkì.
Maiyegun ti dé.
àní ẹ̀sùn ràkì.
Maiyegun ti dé.
lórí Facebook.
Maiyegun ti dé.
àní ẹ̀sùn ràkì.
Maiyegun ti dé.
lórí YouTube.
Maiyegun ti dé.
àní ẹ̀sùn ràkì.
Maiyegun ti dé.
bọ́ bàbá gbé wúrẹ́.
Maiyegun máa wí.
àní ẹ̀sùn ràkì.
Maiyegun ti dé.
ijó ìgbádìyẹ.
Maiyegun máa wí.
àní ẹ̀sùn ràkì.
Maiyegun ti dé.
pẹ̀sìdó bá rúfin o.
Maiyegun máa wí.
àní ẹ̀sùn ràkì.
Maiyegun ti dé.
kí gómìnà kówó jẹ.
Maiyegun máa wí.
àní ẹ̀sùn ràkì.
Maiyegun ti dé.
ọlọ́pàá tí ń darí bá.
Maiyegun máa wí.
àní ẹ̀sùn ràkì.
Maiyegun ti dé.
aṣòfin tí ń rúfin o.
Maiyegun máa wí.
àní ẹ̀sùn ràkì.
Maiyegun ti dé.
òpùrọ́ olóṣèlú.
Maiyegun máa wí.
àní ẹ̀sùn ràkì.
Maiyegun ti dé.
ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùn ràkì.
Maiyegun ti dé.
àní ẹ̀sùn ràkì.
Maiyegun ti dé.
Maiyegun ti dé. gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùn ràkì. Maiyegun ti dé. gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùn ràkì. ṣùgbọ́n ní bá ti ṣe èyí tó yẹ kí wọ́n ṣe ọmọ bá dèrò ní fi wọ́n níran o.
Maiyegun ti dé. Gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùn ràkì. Maiyegun ti dé. Gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùn ràkì. ṣùgbọ́n ní bá ti ṣe yìí tó yẹ kí wọ́n ṣe ọmọ bá dẹ́rọ̀ ò ní fi wọ́n níran.
wọ́n fowó bẹ́ẹ̀ o Maiyegun ó sọ pé wọ́n ò fẹ́ bẹ́ẹ̀. wọ́n fowó bẹ́ẹ̀ Maiyegun ó sọ pé wọ́n ò fẹ́ bẹ́ẹ̀. oníkan ṣáàtì ṣe èyí tó yẹ kí wọ́n ṣe fáwọn ará ìlú tó gbé wọn débẹ̀ o.
Maiyegun ti dé gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùn ràkì. Maiyegun ti dé gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùn ràkì. ṣùgbọ́n ní bá ti ṣe yìí tó yẹ kí wọ́n ṣe ọmọ bá dẹ́rọ̀ ò ní fi wọ́n níran.
kì máa yí ṣe eré ọ̀rọ̀ yìí kì í ṣe ẹ̀fẹ̀. kì máa yí ṣe eré ọ̀rọ̀ yìí kì í ṣe ẹ̀fẹ̀. ẹni bá ti lè lẹ́bọ̀ lẹ́rù o ọmọ bá dèrò kàṣà ìtú wọn síta.
Maiyegun ti dé gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùn ràkì. Maiyegun ti dé gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùn ràkì. ṣùgbọ́n ní bá ti ṣe yìí tó yẹ kí wọ́n ṣe ọmọ bá dẹ́rọ̀ ò ní fi wọ́n níran.
tẹnitẹni ọmọ Maiyegun ọ̀rẹ́ ara ìlú mọ̀mọ́ ni ó fọlọ́run ṣọ́ ẹ̀ bá kìlẹ́bù lóòótọ́ olódodo ìlú ọ̀tá ìlú mọ̀mọ́ ni ìwọ ṣá máa ń ṣọ́ra kò sì mọ́ bẹ̀rù bọ́tà ń lè rí bóníṣègùn lé káwọ́ mọ̀mọ́ fi ṣera wọn ni ó ti dẹrùn tí wọn ò gbọ́dọ̀ sì mọ́ bẹ̀. èèpo ọ̀gọ̀ lọmọ bá dérò tàjẹ́ ò gbọ́dọ̀ jẹ́ ó ti jọba lórí abínú ẹni kò sì mọ́ bùyà àìsíwọ́lu ní ẹnìkẹ́ ìgbódì ẹyin lábàrá o ó kó ẹni tó bá dán o ákàmù Maiyegun ti dé gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lúwẹ̀ túnra kì Maiyegun ti dé gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lúwẹ̀ túnra kì o ẹni bá ti ṣe yìí tó yẹ kí wọ́n ṣe ọmọ bá dèrò òní fi wọ́n níran o.
Maiyegun ti dé gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lúwẹ̀ túnra kì Maiyegun ti dé gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lúwẹ̀ túnra kì ṣùgbọ́n ní bá ti ṣe yìí tó yẹ kí wọ́n ṣe ọmọ bá dẹ́rọ̀ òní fi wọ́n níran.